Okay, got my tools. It's had a couple of weeks to soak. I didn't mention this in the first one, but to make access a little better to the crankshaft, I did go ahead and loosen the alternator and the air pump and pull the belts off. The only belt that's left on right now that's tensioned is the one for the air conditioning compressor. I figured I could leave that one, but getting these other ones out of the way was a pretty good step. What I also did, because of the penetrating oil challenge, I went out and hunted around on Amazon and found a company that has these long straws, and basically it's an aircraft supply. In any case, these straws, I have two of them, and they're 31 inches long, which is really nice for getting down to the cylinders. I also have a mirror on a stick because I'll tell you, this engine's really tough to find spark plug openings, and so it takes a combination of the light and the mirror to be able to feed that straw into the cylinder, but then I can spray very easily and get more penetrating oil. And I've been continuing to do that every couple of days, give it another 5 or 10 second shot. Here's my tool. This is what I purchased to put on the harmonic balancer to not damage the bolt. The bolt is still in there. I've torqued it up, but this goes over the top, picks up 3 bolt holes on this engine, and it's a half drive, or you can put a 1-inch socket on it, and I've chosen to use the 1-inch socket. The other thing that you need to do is get some longer bolts. The standard bolts that hold the pulley on are shorter than this. Let's see if I can find them here. So these are the standard bolts, and I got the longer ones to accommodate the extra thickness of this tool. And I'm going to try turning the engine using that tool instead. At this point, I'm installing that tool. I've got 2 of the bolts in, and I'm working just to get the last one. It's really a tight squeezing here. Wrench over. There we go. There we go. The 3rd bolt. They're all in finger tight, and I just need to tighten them down. There's one. There's 2. I'll go back and finish that 3rd one. They don't have a lot of torque on them, just enough to hold them snug. Okay. I got to get my wrench and get down on that crank. Just a minute. Okay. Well, here we're back at the point where I got the wrench on it, and it's pretty tight. I'm not going anywhere with that. So back to putting more. Now I've also added liquid wrench to the mix. PB blaster is about empty. I got a can of liquid wrench. Again, about 5 or 10 seconds in each cylinder. And also, just to protect the valves and stuff, I've pulled out the grommets for the PCV system and the oil cap. And now that I've got that 31 inch, I've gone in and sprayed penetrating oil through the top of the cylinder heads, trying to lubricate up the valve stems. Don't know how successful that is, but done that. and even also taken a little bit of 5W30 oil, probably about a half a quart, down each side, about a half a quart in each cylinder head. Again, just to try to lubricate. I'm a little worried about sticking a valve and bending a push rod, but that's the starting point. Okay, it's had a few more hours of soaking, and here I got my wrench up in here. And this time I got some movement. That's about as far as I can go. Let's see if I can go back the other way a little. And that's pretty doggone tight. I don't want to push it too hard. I mean, I got a pretty good sized breaker bar on there, so I want to try to break the rust out a little bit at a time. So I'm going to give it a break, put another load of penetrating oil, and come back again later. Okay, here's another shot. So if I pull the bar, I've got some movement. That's about it. Let's go back a little ways. Try pulling that wrench from the other side. So I'm just going to keep working that back and forth. Give it another dose of lube. Okay, going to try this again. It's been overnight, and every time I pull on here, I get a little bit more movement. I'm up to pretty good motion. I've made a couple more pulls. You didn't get everything on camera, but at one point I got a fairly good move, and you'll look at this piece of cardboard, you can see all this rusty gunk. Not a real good sign in some ways. It all came out of the number, would be number 5 cylinder, third one back, and as I started breaking it loose and bringing it up to top center, I could hear it dribbling down onto the cardboard. So this is it. It's mostly liquid, but there is some, it's kind of like mush. No big hard particles, so the penetrating oil seems to be doing its job. It's letting it move, and I'm pushing out penetrating oil with rust in it. Again, I think that's really a good sign. Hopefully we haven't, with that amount of rust, haven't lost too much of the cylinder wall. But I'm going to keep going until I get this thing all the way over. Now let's give it another pull. See if we can get it across to the top. You can hear it spitting. Where it's coming from here. There's more of it dripping down onto the cardboard, and you can see, I don't know if it'll show it down on the frame rail there. But it's, there's a pretty good batch of it. We're going to give it a little more. At this point, I'm going to back it up and go the other way for a little bit. Well, that last pull that you could hear generated a lot more debris down on the cardboard. This is all what was coming out of the cylinder. And it all looks like it was coming out about that same one. I'd moved the cardboard around a little, so it's kind of a fresh spot. But it's kind of gritty, and but it's mostly soft. There's a lot of crud in there. Scientific terms, right? But all of that was keeping things from turning. Okay, given that I've let this thing soak a little bit longer, we were that close. It was putting out a lot of oil and debris out of that cylinder. I put another bite on this wrench, and I'm going to take another try at it. Let's see what we get. I'm getting another bite. I think I might be over the top. That would be success. Bite. It's rolling easier now. All right. I don't see any more debris coming out of the cylinder. I think I crossed top dead center on that one. And none of the others seem to be putting anything out. It must be leaking down past the rings because they're not. So at this point, I think I've got it broken loose. I'm just going to start working back and forth, putting some more oil in it, and trying to get it to clean out.